Hi, this is Ashley, giving an update on the fundraiser. I really have to, do that push and get push for like $4 grand. I have to be out of here in days. I had helpers, people come to help me move some stuff yesterday, and they got a lot of stuff packed up. You can probably see behind me. But there was like resistance to sticking to the plan the way I kind of wanted to do it. I wanted to get the big stuff that I want to keep in there before anything else, and some people just aren't good with space. The stuff that is like on the shelves, no matter what it is, the shelves need to go with it so it could get put onto the shelves that utilize the space better. And I can't lift anything between this arm and my back. I ended up at the unit like 2 hours after everybody left, trying to move stuff. It was a heavy tabletop. It's still sitting in the hall because I can't move it, in 2 chairs. And I really need help, physical help, trying to organize that space, because the way they just threw everything in, I can't fit anything else in there. So we gotta get a third of the stuff out of my house. I'm freaked. I have days. And I really didn't want, and like the stuff that I have listed to sell is in there and I can't get to it. I just don't know what to do. I want to consolidate the 2 units into one that I can drive into, because it's easier for me than to like load stuff and unload it in there, as opposed to taking it out of the car into the unit. So anyway, and then it took me a while to be able to even get into the house because there were so many boxes that they taped up. The problem is they're big boxes. I can't lift them. They're taking up a lot of my house and they're too big. I can't move them. Anyway, I really, God, I wish I had a place to stay, because it's a matter of days. Me and my dog and the 2 cats are going to be in my car. Not even able to park overnight. And this isn't because of my not wanting to work. Everybody who knows me knows I've always worked 2 jobs, taking classes, doing volunteer work. And I'm in the financial situation because I was denied my survivor spouse benefits through Social Security. Every widow that I have talked to depends on those benefits, and they're entitled to. I'm entitled to. We had 2 affidavits, domestic partnership, married 24 years over, and it's just wrong. I could be you. I could be your mother, your sister, your friend. I could, and I just don't know. I just wish I had, there's no fun in this move, because at least when you're moving, you can, like fix up the other place and all. There's none of that. I don't have that. I just have constant stress, and I wish what I need is like a warehouse studio or something like that. Just someplace where I could just put the stuff in that's not going to charge me arm and leg. I'm paying out the ass as it is now. My bank account, again, I need money, because I gotta have money in there to cover my expenses, and my expenses, will go down from, I won't have to have that $1,000 minimum in my checking account once I'm out of here, because I won't, my insurance will go down because I won't have the homeowners, which kind of sucks because of my personal property, but that'll drop pretty good. I'm a very good driver. I've never had a accident that was my fault. No tickets, nothing. I have no driving record. I also taught drivers that I can drive anything. Once if I don't get everything out of here, I don't get the cash for Pease, and that's really going to compound things. I can't bear the thought, you know, of somebody trying to take one of my animals again. That's just, you know. The way the PTSD factors into all of this was when I was denied the spousal benefits. It wasn't long after that. I mean, I was just devastated by losing Sid. I mean, I adored that. I adored her. And she adored me. We had a great relationship. That was devastating enough. And then for this one, we like to call her the Contras, the first incident with Parker, just the threat of having my dog removed just sent me into like a PTSD response I've never experienced before. And you know, any of you dog owners who have ever frequented, like say, dog parks or places like that, you know how the scuttlebutt goes. And the day after the hearing with the first one, the Contras, I had an old video walking her dog off leash out back on my house, you know. She pulled up, let her dog out, and I was out. It was like a first like nice day after the winter, and I was brushing Parker, and I had actually had his leash tied to the pole so he would stay still. And when I unhooked him and she let her dog jump out of the car, Parker went running across a lot like, "Hey, little buddy." And she just started screaming. I've never seen hysterics like this. I mean, she's like the epitome of it. "He's gonna kill him!" And let me just say, if an 80-pound, 100-pound dog attacks again, there will be no dispute. She had one of those freaking retractable leads, which they should be illegal. Because that's how Sydney's stuff started. Some other neighbor with a little chihuahua come running up the ISIS and Sid, and they were sitting on the rocks where the entrance to our development is, and they got tangled around Sydney's leg, and she broke her ankle, and it was just, she never really fully recovered after that. It was one thing after another, that poor girl. And I think, you know, the country was more embarrassed by her response. Then, well, so Parker runs up there, and I'm right behind him, and she's got that retractable lead is wrapped around both of the dogs. Okay, she starts kicking the shit out of my dog. I can't believe, you know, I mean, Parker could have ripped her freaking throat off. And he's trying to get away. I'm telling her, drop the leash. The third time, I'm like, drop the fucking leash. I was ready to kick her because she's kicking my dog. And he didn't bite her. But he's tied up, wrapped up with her little piece of crap dog. He was snarling and looking at me. And it wasn't until like a little bit later she just saw those little blood drops. There was like one little drop of blood. You know, there was like one puncture wound. I've lived with pairs of dogs, and that's nothing. I mean, dogs get injured just playing. So that was the first one. The other one, like I said, she was, talk about it, Karen, walking her dog off leash on private property, our property, and didn't like being basically told to leash her dog. And she run off, saying my dog attacked hers, and it was off leash, and I was upstairs on the deck, and he was loose out back. And because the old misogynist, racist bigot who's been running Baltimore County Animal Services since 1987 has a like-kind policy. If you're like his kind, it doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong or who did what in the case. He's going with the person most like him. And he did not like the idea that I mentioned my wife. I was screwed. That was the first time. There was no way I was going to let any kind of incident occur after that. And the second one happened after the flood in the house. And we had just moved again everything out to the long extended stay embassy suites. And hey, what are you doing, Nick? Nicky, come over here. Come. and we had just moved everything we needed. I had no intentions. I was going to keep going. There was no way I was going to put my stuff in storage and come back, because by that time, you know, just with the first one, I'd had enough. And it was like the day after we had just gotten everything out there. We spent the night here. I had to work the next day, and the cats were still here, and all the groceries were here. And it happened when I went to let him out for a quick walk. And next thing you know, not long after that, knock at my door, and they took him, and I want him back. I want my dog back. And then the stuff they have in the write-up they're saying about him is all wrong. Everything they say about him is the opposite. They have him on Prozac. That breed doesn't do well. What did they say? He doesn't get along with cats and other dogs, which is a lie. He had, when he came here, I had a dog. The foster family he had dogs. You know, he's got dog friends. He sleeps with his cat. You know, my cats just, you know, it really, little Zelda went downhill really fast, and she's really close to being put down. They're both old, and it's about, you know, I mean, it's coming up on the time for them to get put down. Anyway, let me get back on track. I'm sorry. You know, my Jeep needs work because of, it needs 1,500, 2,000. I really would rather, I need to get a different vehicle, one that I can have a mobile tiny home in, whether I'm living in a sticks and bricks type of a place or not. You know, again, the problem is nobody's going to rent to me unless it's like a private person who has space. And I'm saying a garage, a shed, any outbuilding, someplace where I can at least park overnight and sleep in the car without having to worry about getting arrested or what have you. And I'm worried about my car breaking down. I mean, if I could just get a temporary place, 3 months would be great, even 2. And I really need that push for $4 grand within days. You know, payments are getting ready to hit. I don't have much of a balance, and yeah, when I leave here, place is empty and broom clean, then I'll get the cash for keys. It's only $4 grand, but it's enough to pay for, 2 or 3 months rent of like a room or space, garage, an outbuilding, and I need to get movers. I don't know where I'm putting my stuff now. I don't want to have to get another storage unit. I have 3. I mean, my God. You know what? As much as it would cost, it will still be cheaper than most rent. I don't need a whole apartment. So, I mean, I appreciate everybody's help. And yesterday was really very hard on me. There was madness in my method, and we didn't follow it. I mean, I learned a lesson. I would rather have the boxes stacked here and be able to get the big stuff, and especially the stuff that, I want to keep. It's never been this bad. Back in my heyday, and doing the drugs and ripping and running and dancing and prostitution and every other fucking thing I had to do to survive, it was never this fucking bad. I mean, I will go to work at Wawa's. If they were higher, I would go to work at, I love their smoothies. I have never shied away from working, and I never considered any job below me. You do what you have to do. I think my history has proven that. And to all you folks who have loved ones who are in recovery, when they're going through stressful times, and this is kind of important, don't start looking at them or questioning them and accusing them of relapsing or using, because I've had that done to me, and I resent it, because you know what? I have changed my life in ways most people don't have the constitution to do. My recovery has been tested divinely. You know, I've got pushing 30, well, over 30 years. You name it, I did it, and I did it long and hard. And it was hard, you know, changing, to totally change your life around. And it was a long process. The easy part's stopping the drugs, you know. Instead of accusing them and looking at them with that accusatory glare, you know, approach a person during their stressful time and say, you know, I'm really proud of you. Give them a fucking pat on the back. You know, I'm proud of you for not using during all of this. Because this is what it does. It creates trust. And the fact that you might show having confidence leaves them open to be able to come to you and say, I relapsed. But if somebody hasn't relapsed and you're right away accusing them, and if they don't have that much time in recovery, it's enough to send them to use. You know, people thinking I'm using anyway, I may as well. That's what people think. And, you know, I've been in recovery far too long, and I stopped using lots of drugs and IV use, all of it. And my recovery has been divinely tested. After my son died, so many people were like, okay, look at me and accuse me and, you know, thinking I relapsed. Well, most people probably would, but I didn't. And again, the only person who, my boss, Eddie Kaplan, he owned the Gaiety, the place that I was dancing at when I decided to get clean. And it was the people from the block that were my support system. And then for years they've been saying, when you get out of here, Ashley, get out of here, go back to school. And I told Eddie I wasn't going to be able to dance. You can't do that kind of work. You can't be, it's kind of hard to, you know, you're stripping, you're hustling drinks, you know, you're prostituting. Any woman who can do that work without being under the influence has serious psychological problems. And Eddie was cool. He actually even, you know, I needed some money. He advanced me money, and he put me behind the bar. And, you know, he had faith and confidence in me. And it meant the world to me. And after Alston died, Eddie came to me. Sorry. And he told me how proud he was of me. He said, I was sure when that baby died that you were going to start using again. But I'm so proud of you that you didn't. And that meant the world to me. Because everybody else right away is thinking I am using. I am thin. I'm fucking thin right now. I was told I look like a drug addict. Well, I am a drug addict, but I'm not using. And trust me, if I was ever going to abuse any substances, it's not going to be pills. You know, I have no cravings. You know, thank God. You know, but seriously, don't be looking at your loved one who is in recovery in an accusatory manner. Pat them on the back, literally, and, you know, tell them you're proud of them for not using during whatever they're going through. Because, again, it creates trust. You're showing you have confidence in them, and that will leave it open for them to come to you if they do relapse. And that you have to still be supportive. Relapse, they had a little slip. They're not using now. You don't know how much it takes for somebody to come to you to say that if they are. And if you could all just like please share the link. It really, I mean, if people can only give $10, hey, enough people give $10, it adds up. But it's very important to share the video, because if you do share it, your friends will say, hey, if it's important enough for them to share it, I will too. And, you know, just the things that have happened to me are so wrong. I don't know how some people sleep with themselves at night, much less look themselves in the mirror. you know. I just don't know how they can do it. And if you have a problem with me, take it out on me. Take it out with me. You're going to take it out on a dog? You know, that's how people get killed. God, but anyway, I do need to like generate $4 grand within days. I'm supposed to be out of here by the 10th. I'm so freaked. And the goal is to get the stuff out of here. There was kind of a wrench thrown in that, but I need to get my stuff out because it'll just be a nightmare if I don't. And, oh God. It's just so horrible to think about. But anyway, I'm sorry this is kind of gone on a little bit long, but I do appreciate, I mean, there's letters, thank you cards that I have started to write. They haven't gotten out. My house is just a wreck. I can't find anything. But, again, thank you for listening. And, you know, it is also my goal to help you guys, you know, maybe give you some tips in case you or a friend are in this position. I'm really pondering starting like some kind of nonprofit to help people who have no family. And that's the other thing. It's been grueling. You know, in the 4 years since Sid has died, 4.5, I think I've had maybe, not counting yesterday, maybe 3 or 4 visitors. And I have no family. A couple relatives that I might have, you probably don't want nothing to do with, or they can't be trusted. Anyway, you all stay safe, and please share this video. I've got thank you cards coming. The people, it's been rough. Well, thanks again, and I'm going to do updates as often as I can. Some might be on particular topics that relate to my situation. Have a good one, y'all.